So I would suggest just go with the NCERTs. You know how to remember facts, dates, and all. It can be spectral.
What's the basic books that
is more than that. That's what I would say.
How to present them in the answer? This becomes what is the actual perspective they should keep in mind while writing the answer?
There are two types of people who criticize government. One,
some even take 5 years and
tough task into smaller, easier task. So focusing on here and now.
Namaskar and welcome to episode 2 of the SRIAS Podcast. In this series, we bring you expert guidance from some of the finest mentors to help you crack UPSC and OPSC with confidence. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Meghraj Sir, Faculty of History at SRIAS. So, Sir comes with over 10 years of teaching experience, guiding thousands of students in both UPSC and OPSC. He holds a BA and MA honors in history from Meghraj College, University of Delhi, and has also served as an ex-paramilitary officer, bringing discipline, practical insights, and a unique perspective to his teaching. We are truly honored to have him with us today to share his wisdom on how to master history for civil services and how to stay motivated throughout this challenging journey. First of all, welcome to SRIAS Podcast. Sir, you have been a faculty of history for more than 10 years. So, the basic question that comes to everyone's mind is that how to start history, because it is a very vast subject. So, what should be the starting point and what is the strategy to begin with the journey, mainly specific to history, sir?
So, thank you so much for calling me. The first the pertinent question which comes to the mind of every aspirant is how to start. You see, we have two types of students. One type of student is the ones who are starting with the background of BA. So they are BA honors students or BA students. And the second part of the crowd is the people who are engineering students. So I'll start with the English engineering students. So the problem with the engineering students is because these students have studied engineering and they are not ready for a factual analytical paper. So a lot of problems occur. What source we should focus? So I would suggest just go with the NCERTs. You start with the NCERTs, especially the people who are not from the humanities background or from engineering background. You start from the basic NCERTs. For modern, I would start with Bipin Chandra. For medieval, for Satish Chandra, the old NCERT I'm talking about. And as far as the ancient history is concerned, we start with the R.S. Sharma. That is the ancient history. So I'll repeat. For ancient, the old NCERT of R.S. Sharma. For medieval, Satish Chandra. For modern, it's Bipin Chandra. Now the second question is that how to remember facts, dates and all. You see, what happens is how do you remember your birthdays, your anniversaries, your mother's birthday? Because you have emotions attached to the story of your mother or the father. So here is the importance of the facts and the story behind that. I give you the example of everybody remembers 26th January or 1947 or 15th August. It has a story that how our freedom struggle started and how we have, struggled for so long.
Yes, sir.
In the history. That's why we remember these things. So the basic point is to understand the story behind a fact. Like we understand the birthdays I talked about, the 1947 or 15th January or 26th January or
yes, sir. Let's link them with stories.
Yes, with the stories. Yes, that is the ultimate point.
Okay, sir. As we have, sir, students from Odisha also, they are preparing for Odisha Public Service Commission. So the basic questions comes to the mind is that what is the basic difference between UPSC history and OPSC history? What is the basic difference between this?
You see, when it comes to the UPSC, I'll start with from the above. There is, as far as the OPSC is concerned, the standard of OPSC is good standard. You see, there are 2 or 3 types of questions: factual level questions, analytical questions, and both. How do I say that? You see, there are 3 statement questions, say in OPSC, 4 statement questions of modern history. So there is no difference as such as far as the UPSC and the OPSC is concerned. UPSC also asks 4 statement questions and OPSC also asks 4 statement questions. UPSC also asks factual questions, OPSC also asks factual questions. So the sources are similar. After reading the NCERTs, it can be spectrum, it can be the regional history. The basic sources of the regional history. So there is no difference as such. The concepts are similar, but OPSC, the Odisha history is plus.
So for Odisha history, what's the basic books that for students preparing for OPSC? Just for UPSC they have NCERT, but for Odisha if they are preparing, because they have certain specific topics pertaining to history. So for that, which book they should prefer?
You see, we ourselves have made the content. We focus on our coachings, SRIAS coachings. Material is more than enough. But if you want to go for other sources, there can be sources of NCERT also gives Odisha history, and the other publications of the national level which gives the Odisha history. You see, extensively the Odisha and Bengal history are covered in 1757 till 1947. Extensively, we have Dholi over here. We have, you see Gajpatis over here. We have, all the histories linked with the national history. So there's no dearth of resources. But if we have to confine ourselves to the Odisha history, then our material is more than enough. That's what I would say.
Yes, sir. And now coming to answer writing, what should be the strategy of students to tackle history questions? Because sometimes what happens, they know the facts, but how to present them in the answer, this becomes a challenge. So how to tackle this question?
As far as, you see, answer writing is concerned, there are 2 factors to that. Again, the people who have not written answers, the engineering students or the science students, say I am coming from physics background or chemistry. I have just written the equations. So obviously I will not understand the reasons of the partition of India. Simple fact. So the trick I would follow is you start. You see, when we had studied in our childhood ABCD, we used to write A as different or as different. Or for that matter, ODI history and different. Because the concepts start from 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 199.
Yes.
You understand, I think. So the point I'm trying to make is, we can start with basics. Like we write an essay on cow. A cow has 4 legs, something like that.
Yes.
And then we build upon them. The first answer of every person who is from engineering background is not that good. But if you compare that answer with the 50th answer he's writing, he can easily see the change. So the change is gradual and it has to be worked out. What is the technique you were talking about? I say you start with the basic stuff. What have you done in the morning? You woke up, you did this, breakfast, library, whatever. So you can start with that. And then we put the questions and the answers. What is the reason of the revolt of 1857? What is the reason for the Gajpati rule's rise? Why was the temples built in Odisha? What is the role of Madhusudan Das in Odisha history? Yes. What is the role of Surendra Sai? What is the role of other regional heroes? What is the literature of Odisha? Anybody can write that thing, but the introduction and conclusion are the problems. But it can be worked out like ABCD I talked about.
Yes.
So it's a gradual process, and it has to be technique-wise. I think the time is not allowing me. Otherwise, I would have shown it to you.
Yes, sir. So basically, what should to enrich our answers? Some students that if they are filling their answer papers with depth, facts. So is this strategy okay, or they need to add more things? What is the actual perspective they should keep in mind while writing the answers?
You see, when it comes to, you talked about perspective. What is a perspective? Say, there are certain keywords UPSC or the OPSC is asking for. Discuss, elucidate, evaluate, examine. So when they are talking about discuss, critically examine. So discuss means you have to write positive as well as negative.
Yes.
Critically examine. Then you have to critically examine.
Yes.
And you have to show in the introduction and the conclusion a futuristic attitude, an attitude of a bureaucrat, quote unquote, an attitude which is progressive, not negative, regressive, not regressive. There are two types of people who criticize government. One criticize with a solution and one just criticize. These are like chai ka dhaba wala discussions. So we have to make our answers a standard. When it comes to standards, then we have to understand that there is a standard English we use. Standard English, not like WhatsApp English.
Yes.
Shortcuts are not allowed. First thing. Second thing, standard English doesn't mean you're writing your English in Shakespearean.
Yes.
No. Simple English. Full stops, commas. Basic. Then main body, then subheading, subparts. There are certain questions which demand the subparts. Means, say if I talk about the reasons for the 1947 freedom struggle, then you can say there are certain positives,
Certainly.
like freedom and liberty, equality, which subsequently follow, and then there's a partition which is a negative. So that makes it A part and the B part. In the positives, you write about we got freedom from the shackles of the Britishers who were ruling in India for more than 200 years. And then we can talk about there were some problems, like we can talk about the migration, the cathartic negatives of the partition in Pakistan, the partition, the violence, communal violence. So that is the negative point. Then subsequently you can say that after 70 years, here we are as a developed nation or a nation in progress.
Yes. So, what are the most common mistakes that you found in students that they make while writing answers, as well as from preparing from the basics that you have found, sir, from your 10 plus years experience?
You see, when it comes to the answer writing, it should come organically. Again, if the people who have written answers in their 11th, 12th, some people have good writing, some people doesn't. Some people write answers, some people don't. Some people are into messaging, WhatsApp, Instagram messaging. So my advice to the generation is, Gen Z generation is that you should start writing answers. Get it checked by the mentors we have. You will not write a perfect answer on the very first day.
Yes.
This should be kept in mind. And there's no magic bullet. It will take time. It will be an organic process. I can name like a lot of students who could not write answers in our first class, but after 6 months the answers that they wrote is, and I'm not saying it out of because I have taught them, but I'm saying that in Subhranjan IAS, we give certain focus, emphasis on the answer writing. And you see, you cannot become an IAS or an OPSC officer just by clicking the bubbles. You have to write answers.
Yes.
So the advice is to write answers, get it checked every day or in a week or so, and keep improving.
Yes, so the practice makes a man perfect.
And nobody is perfect.
Exactly, sir. And sir, finally, what is the motivation that you want to give to students? Because what happens is that this is a very long journey for many. Some takes 2 years, some even take 5 years, and there are other as well. And some get overwhelmed and leave the preparation midway. So this is the biggest challenge that students are facing. So how can they tackle this situation, and how to always boost the motivation, how they will manage this thing?
So to answer your question, I always quote Gautam Buddha, who says that there is no difficult task. There is no difficult task which cannot be broken into smaller, easier tasks. If we talk about the marathon race, it is of 42 kilometers. But if we focus that we have to run 42 kilometers, and I equate IAS preparation or OPSC preparation as marathon, you have to pace yourself. You have to save yourself. You have to be fit. You have to be consistent. Perseverance. Every time everybody talks about consistency, but nobody talks about being in the moment, focusing on one day. One day will become 1 week, 1 week will become 1 month, and that will make changes. Yes. And you see, again, breaking the tough task into smaller, easier tasks. So focusing on here and now. That's what a lot of toppers, including there's a famous topper of I think remembering 2021, Anudeep Durashetty.
Yes, sir.
So he talks about here and now. If I don't write these answers, if I don't fall, then rise, then fall, then rise, the learning will not happen. And again, it's a continuous process. And everybody is doing the same journey. Everybody has gone through the same journey. And again, the perseverance I talk about.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insights with our students, both UPSC and OPSC as well. And thank you for joining today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
To all the students tuning in, remember, success in civil service doesn't come overnight. It comes with consistent hard work, the right guidance, and staying focused on your goal. This was episode 2 of the SRIAS Podcast. Stay connected with us for more expert talks, strategies, and motivation to power your preparation journey. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and all the best for your exams. Thank you.